Hi guys, I'm Mekayla Rayne, this is my channel, and that is my name. Today I want to talk about music. Anyway, music. So, I'm a musician. No, okay, but seriously. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Mekayla Rayne. I am based in New York, and I am a musician, songwriter, actress, as well as a million other things, but that's like my brand. That's like tattoo it on my forehead. That's what I am. And today we're gonna be talking about the first part of that, which is musician. The term musician. To me, a musician is somebody who works with music, specifically like musical instruments. Somebody who plays musical instruments is a musician in my mind. And to me, singing is a musical instrument, and that's why I am a musician and not a singer, because I don't just sing, because I play guitar mediocrely and piano averagely and a couple other instruments that are less than that, but I sing and I do multiple different instruments, so I'm not just a singer, I'm a musician. And that's what musician means to me. Recently I put out 2 singles. The first one that I ever released, I released on April 1st, April Fool's Day, and it was called Tell My Story. And the second one that I released was released on May 1st, and it's called Runnin' Runnin', and they're both singles that I plan eventually to be on the same album. If you've heard those songs, then you're gonna know what I'm talking about, because I put it out like on every video of them, just so people know. But if you haven't heard those songs, you can look at them here and here. I hope I know how to do this, but look at them here and here, and if they're not here and here, they're gonna be down there in the description, because I know how to copy and paste. Help. Both those songs were written, recorded, and produced entirely by moi. Here's why. My whole life I wanted to be a singer, ever since I can remember, like ever since I was 4 at least. I would just be singing like mundane things, like sentences, I would sing them, and I just always liked to sing. I've just always really loved it. That's all I wanted to be until I was 6, when I realized I also like to act, but we're good to act? I like act. Anyway, we're just gonna be talking about music today. I wanted to be a singer, and then one of my early goals became, I had 2 early goals actually. One was to learn every single language, which quickly went out the window, and the other was to learn every single instrument, which I'm still working on. I got the strings kind of down, all the string instruments, not all of them, but if I have a string instrument, I can pretty much figure it out because I know a lot of string instruments, so like, check. And I've wanted to be a singer, I wanted to do music ever since I can remember. Growing up, it became really hard to follow that path because, you know, the closest thing that they have to that, I come from a small town, and the closest thing we had was chorus. And because I was in band when I first started high school, I wasn't even able to be in chorus until like 9th, 10th grade, I think, because I went into the school on band, and it was like a weird thing, like you couldn't do both, I don't know. So I ended up not joining chorus until pretty late in my middle school, high school career. But even that chorus class, like at my school, there were no classes that were intended for people who wanted to become singers or performers, because that's not considered a real job. And the school system pushes you so hard towards academics that I didn't get to learn anything. I mean, outside I took like piano lessons and voice lessons. I took as much music lessons outside of school as I could, and I'm very thankful for them, and I learned a lot from that. But I also wish that my goal to be a singer was like acknowledged in school, because I feel bad for the people who are like me, who don't have... I got through because my parents were so supportive, because I said I want to be a singer, and they were like, let's get you everything that you need to do that, and I will forever be grateful for that. I feel bad for the really gifted people and really like passionate people like me who want to go into it and don't have that, and they don't get it from school, and because it's not considered a real thing, and they give up on it. I've seen so many people give up on artistic careers because people don't consider them to be real things, and that's such a huge problem for me. Like, I hate that. I hate that that's a thing. Part of what I hope to do on this channel and like throughout my career is to encourage people not to give up on their dreams just because other people don't believe in them. Like, you have to have enough faith and belief in yourself to get you where you want to be. And if you need a support system, find that here. It is really important to me because I've seen so many people, young people, just teeter off and like go into academics or like lawyer, doctor, and that's fine. The world needs lawyers and doctors, totally, but don't do it if it's not your passion. If music is your passion, then don't be a doctor. I mean, you can do both. Do both. But if they're both your passion. Growing up, I had no idea where to go. And that was one of the biggest problems is like, yeah, they have schools for music, but it's like classical music and like, I wanted to go to Juilliard once upon a time. Not that I couldn't have if I didn't want to, like really want to, then I could have like, you know, but I was so young. I mean, honestly, I took my lessons for granted. I really did. Looking back now, like I could have learned so much more if I just stopped fighting, and my piano teacher and my voice teachers are like, right now. Or maybe they're like, she's got it, finally. Anyway, but that wasn't what I wanted. I didn't want to do classical stuff. So, you know, there's no school for people who want to be like singer-songwriters. I mean, maybe there is now, but at the time that I was graduating and looking into it, it was nowhere on that college list that I was showed. It was because they force you to go to college, basically. Like, they push you have to go to college. Pick a college. Pick a college. Even if you don't want to go to college, pick a college. Can you tell that I'm bitter? Anyway. So, and they totally just throw away anything that could be art-based, basically, besides, like, art, you know, and even that is, like, not encouraged, which is annoying, but anyway. And my parents, you know, like, they did the best they could, obviously, getting me what I needed and all of that, but they don't know about the music industry or anything like that, like, where to go, what to do, like, you know, and neither did I. And so what basically ended up happening is I just started doing everything myself. I realized that if I wanted something done, I needed to do it myself, and I had to do it all myself because nobody else was going to. Nobody else was going to help me, because I was going to say, I want to be a singer, and they're going to ask, what's your plan B? They're not going to say, okay, how do we make that happen? Except for my parents, obviously, love you guys more. They did what they could, and I needed somebody with expertise in the music industry, which was, like, non-existent. I didn't want to wait on that. I didn't want to wait for an opportunity to come or whatever. Like, I wanted to make my own opportunity, so I wrote songs. I learned as much about music production as I could. I spent an entire summer's worth of money, like a job that I got over the summer as a busser. I spent everything that I got that summer on music equipment, and I like built my own little home studio, kind of, sort of. Like, I got everything I needed. It's still, I mean, it needs work, but you know, I did what I could with what I had. The reason that I did it all myself, as I said, is because I felt like I had to. I felt like that was the only way that I was ever going to get my music out there, because I don't know anything about it. Now I know that, like, you can go to a studio and pay for studio time, but like, I was hearing that if you didn't produce it, like, somebody else owns the masters of your version, and I just didn't know enough about the industry, and I still don't, to really have faith in that. You know, like, you hear stories about, like, studios or producers, or I think it's record labels, actually, who, like, claim their artists' master recordings, and I did not want that to happen, so I was willing to sacrifice quality for safety, I guess, because all of my songs the songs that I write and put out now are 100% mine, and there's no disputing that, and that's okay, I think, to start. I think that's okay. It's okay if it's not what people do normally. It's okay if it's not a professional quality sound. I'm okay with that, because this is the beginning. You know, when I put out my first single, what I put on the caption that I really, really loved, actually, is that it's called Tell My Story. And it was the first single that I put out, and I said, this is where people will start when they tell my story. Keyword being, this is where they will start, where they will begin. Meaning that this is the beginning, and I'm gonna grow so much more throughout the rest of my story. Sometimes when I was younger, what held me back from doing this sooner was that I was so hard-pressed that everything had to be perfect. It wasn't gonna go anywhere if it wasn't perfect, if it wasn't flawless. And I made myself put out Tell My Story because I knew if I didn't, I might never. If I didn't as it was now, I might never. And you know what? I get better every day, I think, with this program and with writing and all that, because I keep going and I get better every day. And I look back on Tell My Story now and I'm like, yeah, maybe there were like some things that could be fixed. And I literally, it's May 5th. So I say now as if it's been like a year, it's been a month. But I've kept going, and I've made another song, and I've grown, and I've learned from that song, and I learned that there are things that I want to do differently next time, things that I still have to learn more about. You know, that doesn't mean that I can't re-record them at a later date, or make, you know, another version when I know more about it, or if I decide to go into a studio, but like, I'm completely allowed to do that, and completely allowed to make those decisions, and not worry about whether or not it's perfect. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I hope people get from my career, from me, is that you have to work hard for what you want, but also you have to take the first step. You have to take the first step. Even if it's not exactly where you want to be stepping, it's close, and it's a step closer to where you want to be stepping. That's why I put out those 2 singles the way that I did, and why I'm planning on putting out a third one that way. You know what? At the end of the day, the most important thing to me is that I'm making music, and I'm learning, and I'm continuing to grow in music, and that's why I do things the way that I have, and the way that I will continue to for now, and we'll see where it takes me. Like, I'm gonna go with the flow. I'm gonna do, you know, whatever I feel like doing, because that's the life that I want. I have had so much support on my songs, especially the first one, which was like, you know, the hardest to put something out, just be like, boom, here it is. And I am so grateful for everybody who has supported me, who continues to support me. I can't even thank you guys enough. I can't even thank you guys enough. I really appreciate it. That's who I am as a musician. That's where I'm coming from and where I am right now, and I'm really glad that that's where I am and that I've been able to bring myself to this point. Yeah, thanks guys. So this is where people will begin, when they tell my story, and I'll keep running till I get there. I know that was corny, but I loved it. Yeah, thank you so much for listening, if you listened this far, because it's quite a bit, I feel like. Anyway, so yeah, that's Mekayla Rayne, the musician.